What's up, guys? This is Cliff from ArtBloop, and today we're going to be showing you guys how to make a dotted manga shader from a recent short and video that I'm actually working on called The Lawless Kid. And I'm going to show you guys how I made the smoke for that. And so let's dive in. So it's pretty easy. It's not all that complicated, but there's three elements, which you have the solidify modifier around it to give it the outline, and then we also have the additional thickness of the outline as well, and then we also have the dotted part of the shader too. So let's dive into it. Let's turn this back on, open up a sphere, shade smooth. Let's add a sun. I'm going to turn the sun up to 5. Sorry, I got my phone going off over here. All right, so let's grab this. Name this dotted manga shader. And we're just going to delete the principled BSDF. Add an emission shader. Bring this right here. Let's go ahead and connect that to the material output. Then let's go ahead and add a diffused BSDF. And let's also add a shader to RGB. I'm going to click this right here. I'm going to lift these up right here. Let's add a color ramp. Place that right here. Then also, let's add a Voronoi texture. That is not how you spell Voronoi. All right. And also make sure you have the Node Wrangler add-on turned on, installed. That's incredibly useful. If you don't have it, please get that. So, because I already have it, I'm going to show you guys if you don't already have it turned on. We're going to go to Preferences and then go to Add-ons and then type in Node Wrangler. I don't know if you can even see this. And then just select it and it should start. And then here, now that I select the Voronoi texture and hit Control T, it's going to add the mapping and texture coordinate node. Then I'm going to add a color ramp and connect the distance to the FAC. I'm pronouncing that really weird. Let's add a mix RGB. And we'll place it right here in between the color ramp and the shaded RGB. We're going to duplicate that and place that next to the emission and the color ramp. So let's connect the diffuse BSDF to the shaded RGB, and let's connect we actually don't need that, I don't think. Connect the shader to RGB to the color ramp here. And let's connect the color ramp to the mix node here. And let's connect this color to here. And let's turn this option to linear light and connect that to the emission node. And there we go. We have the start of our shader. But let's go over here to Voronoi texture. Let's change the setting from 3D to 2D. Keep this at F1 and Euclidean. Turn random to 0. And let's turn the color ramp option to constant. And let's lower the slider. And then also over here in the texture coordinate, we're going to grab the object and then connect that to vector. Actually, excuse me, that's very wrong. We're actually going to be connecting the camera to the vector. I don't have no idea why I said that. And there we go. We have the dots. Let's move this over here. Let me see something here. I kind of feel like I'm forgetting a step. Wow, totally forgot that for a second. Brain fart. All right, let's duplicate you, put you here. Let's change you to mix. Let's actually connect you to here. Let's connect the color to the color ramp. There we go. That makes more sense. All right. Now we can adjust the scale of the raw in our texture as we like. I'm going to make that smaller. And I'm going to adjust the slider of the diffuse BSDF here. That's going to give us the sharper dotted pattern. And adjusting the mix RGB and linear light is going to give us, you know, some more of that dotted pattern in there and allow us to adjust more of this here. I'm going to leave that here. And if you like to make the dots, make the dots smaller, then you just adjust this slider as you like. And right there, you have the first part of our dotted shader complete. But next, we need to add the outline, right? So let's go ahead and add the black outline. Oh no. No idea what just happened there. All right, black outline. I cannot spell. All right, let's delete that. Delete. All right, let's add the emission shader back. Let's connect that to the material output. With the sphere or your model selected, we'll go to the modifiers tab and add solidifier. Let's go to normal, change to flipped material, change that to offset to 1. Let's adjust the thickness just by a little bit. And then go to material, check back face culling, not black face culling, back face culling, and then turn shadow mode to none. I always forget to do that for some weird reason. Change that to none. Now let's go back to the black outline and actually make that black, right? Instead of white. There we go. That's not racist at all. All right. So now that we have our outline, let's go back to the solidify modifier and adjust the thickness. I'm going to make it, say I'll set it right here. I'm actually going to add a subdivision, subdivision modifier on there to make that a little bit smoother and a little bit nicer to look at, right? Now with that second part complete, let's go back to the dotted shader and let's add a layer weight node. Let's duplicate this color ramp with Control D. Connect the facing to the color ramp. Let's grab these two and pull these aside. Duplicate the mix node and then add the color ramp to the mix node. It's going to look weird. Don't worry about it. Now let's go back over to the diffuse and shaded RGB. Pull that aside and then let's add a separate RGB. So the red will just connect to the color ramp. And right now it doesn't really matter because it's going to be a comic shader. But we're going to take the blue output and we're going to connect that to the blend for the layer weight. There we have that. We're going to go back to the mix RGB, change this to multiply. We can adjust that as we like. Then we're going to add a invert node. We're going to invert this and bring this black slider all the way to the end. And when you select, you grab the blue and you connect that to the color. But with the invert, you can actually adjust how thick that line is. Thick. All right. I'm a child. Now with that, you now have your dynamic outline and you have your dotted shader complete. Now, I hope that was helpful. I hope that was easy to understand. And I don't think there's anything else we'd like to add to that, but you can do a lot more with this, of course.